Pets Add Life, your guide to the latest in pet trends, products, and the joy of the human-animal bond, with Kristen Levine and Chris Bonafati, powered by the American Pet Products Association and Dog TV.
Welcome everybody to the Pets Add Life podcast! Woo! For those of you listening at home, we are live from Las Vegas, Nevada at Superzoo. Kristen, how are you feeling?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling great. This is our very first live. It's kind of exciting.
You got the jitters?
No, because I had a glass of wine.
Yeah, I've had 3 beers, and immediately afterwards, I'm going to turn that into 10. It's my magic trick. I've learned a lot from the David Copperfields over here in Las Vegas, so I've learned how to turn
understudy.
Yeah, and he told me that that's not a magic trick and that I should leave him alone. But I've told him otherwise. For those of you who don't know, on the PAL podcast, we have 2 amazing stories, 2 amazing guests,
2 amazing products,
and we're going to answer 2 questions live from the audience. And
we got a fan already.
We got a fan. I mean, thank you for the applause. We appreciate it. And so I believe, Kristen, the audience is so ready. Let's get into story time.
Let's do it.
Kristen and Chris present Story Time.
So normally when we're recording, we argue over who gets to go first.
I know.
And now it's like we're live, so we have to turn it into a bit.
Okay.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay, let's do it.
Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
What's that?
What is that? I don't know, that's 4. It's a shorter piece of paper. Okay. I guess that means I go first?
Yes, you go first.
My story of the week is lighthearted fun and really just a pleasure. I've actually met a lot of dogs with interesting jobs while I'm here at Superzoo, and it turns out dogs can do a lot more than just play fetch, roll over, or play dead.
You just figured that out?
Dogs can fly planes. That's correct, people. You heard right. There was a lull in the crowd when I said that. They're like, I can't even believe that's possible. A very lucky corgi had the opportunity to be a deputy pilot on a United Airlines flight. Whoa. And if you know anything about airline travel, it can be incredibly miserable. But if I got
or
onto
somewhat
an airplane,
miserable,
somewhat, yeah, but never happy. You never have a good experience.
Right.
But if I were to go to the airline and see that a corgi was going to be my pilot, I think I would have a better time.
Most definitely.
And I believe Ron, who's now fiddling with a GoPro, has a little video that we're going to put up on the screen here because we are a multimedia podcast. Oh, it's us. There we go. Here's the corgi. Look at him go. So normally you see the captain after you get off the plane, and you're like, yeah, thanks for landing that plane. But here he is in his little pilot's outfit, all ready to go, getting strictures. See, I'd be the jerk at the back of the line getting annoyed that everybody's stopping to pet the dog. I'd be like,
especially if you had a connecting flight.
Yeah, get me off of this tin can right now. But I just think it's awesome how animals are being amplified by some of these corporations. There's a lot of really great stuff that animals have to offer. We all know that. Everybody listening knows that. But sometimes it takes a special little TikTok. Look at that. Wave. Hi to the corgi. Sometimes it takes a special little TikTok to really drive that point home.
I know. I love that.
Yeah.
I'd love to be on that flight.
Yeah, me too.
So I've got a story that's sort of similar, and you know, you and I don't collaborate before the show.
We don't, which is a shame.
But it's a shame. It's a shame because it would probably be a better show if we did. But my story is very similar. I had the opportunity, as you mentioned at the top, we're here in Las Vegas for Superzoo, and I had the opportunity to attend the Human Animal Bond Research Initiative Innovation Awards 2 nights ago. And there were some really incredible awardees, but my personal favorite was they received the award for the Pet Inclusive Infrastructure category. This was the Tybee Island Police Department, which is near Savannah, Georgia. And what this police department does is they work with the local Humane Society, and they actually bring one of the adoptable pets on the job in a cruiser every single day. And these pets get to interact with the community, and they said that every single pet that's been a canine cop for the day has either gotten a foster home or has been adopted.
That's amazing.
Isn't that cool?
That's amazing.
And that, like you said, you know, like the corgi on the airline, infusing pets into, you know, police work, that's a great idea.
My question is, has like a tabby cat ever made like a huge drug bust?
Oh, I don't know, but they did feature a cat 1 week.
Just 1 week?
Just I don't know why.
Well, consistently underserved as
canine
always.
Canine cat. That's the new thing.
Yeah, canine cat sounds like a superhero.
Right, it does.
Write that down. Canine cat. That's another show. We got that going on. So like actually get to ride around in the police cruisers?
Yes. Now I don't think they're going on drug busts or in murder investigations.
Those are the fun parts.
Well, I know, but the point is they want these pets to interact with the community. So it's more of like a patrol kind of situation where the community gets to know the pets and gets to know the local police officers.
And every single one has wound up in a home.
Every single one has either wound up in a foster home or been adopted.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So. Yeah. Pause up.
Pause up.
Pause up.
Pause up.
Pause up.
Pause up.
To Tybee Island Police Department.
All right. Well, I think we have our first guest. Do we have a, oh, yeah, we do have a jingle.
Beyond the Leash, exploring the untold stories of pet passion and professionalism.
Beyond the Leash. Everybody, please welcome to the show, Christy Stevens!
Welcome, Christy. You are the founder and executive director at Hearts Alive Village.
That's
and
right.
I want to read a little bit about you. In 2013, after volunteering at a small local shelter, you and your daughter discovered that you shared a dream of opening an animal sanctuary, driven by a passion for animal welfare and a desire to show your daughter that dreams do come true. You dedicated yourself to creating a nonprofit organization aimed at making the Las Vegas Valley a kinder place for pets. So you created Hearts Alive Village.
That's right.
And that was how many years ago? 2013.
Oh,
so
goodness.
do the math. 11 years.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, you're quite a big deal in the animal community here in Las Vegas, which is why we found you.
I was actually shocked that you accepted our invitation because you're such a big deal.
That's amazing.
Well, tell us a little bit about the origin story. How did you and your daughter go from volunteering at a local animal shelter to actually founding your own?
Well, I had no idea that she was so affected by her volunteer experience, and there was a particular dog that she was very fond of that we advocated for, and we struggled to find his home. And she just couldn't believe that it just wasn't something we could solve like that. And I said, baby, it takes a lot of work. And the organization that we volunteered with were a little bit different about how we were able to engage as volunteers. And so she said, I want to create an organization where everybody can volunteer and participate and help these animals. And she actually named it Hearts Alive.
Did she?
Yeah.
And how old was she at the time?
Oh my gosh, she did an essay in her 5th grade composition notebook that I got at the end of the year, and she wrote about it. And I said, kiddo, is this really what you want to do? And she said, yeah, but I didn't think it was possible because you work too much.
Oh my gosh.
So my heart,
dagger.
Totally.
Dagger.
And I'm like, wait a second. You can absolutely make this dream come true. We'll start small. And we started small with a pet food bank called Kendall's Cupboard. That's her name, Kendall. And that's what started it all. And it's been 11,000 plus animals later that we've saved through our rescue efforts.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So it was a little girl's dream.
That's amazing. So what makes Hearts Alive Village so special? What makes it different from a common rescue?
Well, one of the things that we realized early on is we can't rescue our way out of the problem, and we started to ask why. Why are these animals ending up in the system? And we realized that it was a lack of resources for pet parents and families. And so we started to really focus on all these owner support resources. And in 2020, we opened the very first nonprofit full-service veterinary hospital in the state of Nevada. And 4 years, hardest thing we've ever done. But, we're serving about 1,200 pets a month now. So
wow,
that's
a
amazing.
month. That's incredible.
It's a big number.
And that's not just spaying and neutering, vaccines. You said it's full service.
Yeah,
right?
full service. So we're doing special surgeries and everything. So sick and injured, and it really makes a big difference. Access to veterinary care is the largest threat to animal welfare right now. So that is a major lack here in this city. The corporatization of vet med is really driven the prices up, and it's out of reach for most people. So we talk about this and we call it community sheltering. That's where we've got to look. We've got over 20 million pets living in poverty with their people. If we don't look there, we're missing the mark. So
yeah, that's a great point.
Yeah.
What are some of the other resources that have been lacking for pet parents in the Las Vegas Valley?
Well, we have, it's a really rough world out there across the country, but especially in Las Vegas for lower income housing and just house inclusivity. Pets are family too, but they're not welcome.
Right.
in most places. And so that's been one of the biggest threats here as well. And, we're working with our local jurisdictions, we're working with our state legislators, we're trying to, make housing more inclusive for the entire family. But that's a big deal. And also just, pet supplies and food. So we have a pet food bank, and we serve about 400 families a month with that.
That's amazing. Yeah, so it seems like part of the problem is getting pets out of shelters. The other side of it is making sure they don't end up there in the first place. Yeah,
that's the goal, and really, I think that's where our biggest impact is.
Yeah.
Right now, our pace is about 2,000 animals a year with our rescue efforts, but we do everything we can not to have to rescue them. And with things like our veterans program, Charlie Mike, where if a veteran is struggling and needs to get into the hospital and they don't have any family, that animal would normally go to the shelter and they'd lose their best friend.
Yeah.
So we do things like boarding so that they can, if they're having a mental health crisis or they have to go to the hospital or drug treatment or something, that we keep them safe so they can be reunited with their best friend.
Yeah.
So.
How has the community stepped up to support this initiative?
Oh my goodness. We're really grateful for the Las Vegas community, and we try really hard to get the word out there because we need everybody. But businesses from Subaru to Zappos have really come through for us.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And we've worked super, super hard as an organization to be very business minded. So things like our cat cafe, which is a really fun place to go. It's just a $15 donation to come in. It helps to fund the space, the employees, and it's even starting to turn a profit where we're paying for medical for our cats, which is crazy.
Wow.
And our hospital generates revenue because we can't get vet staff for free.
Right.
So we're working really hard to be a sustainable organization as much as we can, but boy, do we need donations.
So yeah, you need donations. So everybody listening, open up your wallets. Yes. And where specifically can they go and open those up?
So you can go to heartsalivevillage.org and find out about all of our programs, and there's donate buttons everywhere. And then we'd love for you to come. We'd love for you to come to our Facebook page and our Instagram. The stories are every single day of redemption for families so that they can stay together, and pets who need a second chance. And it matters a lot.
And finally, what's the future hold? Let's just say, everything goes according to plan. You end up with a ton of money in the bank. What will you do with, let's just even say like $100,000?
Well,
what will you do?
Let me tell you right now, actually, about a really exciting thing that's just taking shape. One of the things that we're struggling with most here is access to spay and neuter. So obviously, we can't keep up with the birth rate, we're in trouble.
Yep.
So right now we're in talks, funding and purchasing of another clinic that we're going to turn into a high volume spay and neuter center to hopefully do a minimum of an additional 15,000 spay and neuter surgeries a year. So that is taking place right now, and that is the future, and we are, any money right now, we want to definitely go to any preventative services like that. Yeah. We want to make sure we can help people access that really incredibly important preventative measure.
Does the Las Vegas tourism help? Help the shelter? Help the?
I wish it did more.
Yeah.
I wish.
So I was just going to say, if you're planning a visit to Las Vegas, can they come visit the cat cafe?
Yeah, please do that.
Yeah.
That's definitely, the cat cafe has been a really big access point for our tourism more than anything, because people go all over the world and they go, "Where's the cat cafe?"
Right.
And because most big cities have it, and so we're really grateful for that. That's helping the Las Vegas tourism learn about Hearts Alive Village. So yeah, cat cafe.
That's awesome. Let's get that website one more time for everybody listening.
It's heartsalivevillage.org.
With donation buttons everywhere. So I don't want to see in the comments say I couldn't find it. Everyone, let's give it up one more time for Christy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Christy.
Pets add life.
Our next guest is highly anticipated, much to my chagrin. Freddy has a fascination with reptiles that began at a young age when he would spend hours in his backyard catching house geckos. I used to do the same thing. This early interest in all things alive and moving soon developed into a deep passion for reptiles. His journey into reptile care and education took a significant step when his father purchased his first reptile, a leopard gecko. Great intro, reptile folks. Although the gecko passed away, because all things are fleeting, Freddy's curiosity and determination only grew. From visiting pet shops to handling a large green iguana he found at a swap meet in California, Freddy's dedication to understanding and caring for reptiles solidified his goal to open a reptile store where people could not just find a pet, but the perfect pet. So Freddy, thank you so much for joining us.
Great to have you.
I like the shirt, by the way.
Thank you. I wore it just for you.
You know what? Batman is my superhero.
Is
Me
it really?
too.
It is.
Oh,
I like to convince myself that I'm Batman because I like to be awake at night and I'm depressed.
Oh my god.
that's a different show.
That's a different take on Batman. So let's get into the interview. Well, let's get into the interview. So obviously you have an incredible passion for reptiles.
Yes.
What made you decide that this is going to be your business, your livelihood?
You know, coming to Vegas, I noticed that, you know, all the stores are amazing, but I just felt like they were never meeting my expectation. They weren't never to the top tier. They didn't have good customer service. They weren't clean. They weren't keeping up with their animals. And it actually made me want to pursue more. Like, you know, if I step into this, I want to make sure my store is first amazing. You have good customer service. You're coming to look at beautiful animals that are healthy, that want to be touched, not something that's skinny or doesn't want to be touched. Yeah. You know?
That's a great point.
I just want to make sure that when people come in the store, they feel like they stepped into a new world. Yeah. And that's what made me want to push it further and further. At first, I was doing nothing but geckos, but then I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know, my name doesn't say Freddy's Geckos. It says Freddy's Reptile. So then, you know, I'm in the garage brainstorming, and I was like, what else can I get into? What else can I get into? You know, and I did take a couple classes. So I did a lot of, you know, herpetology and stuff. So I know what I'm doing. And as well, too, I used to work for a couple of the local stores here in Vegas. Awesome. So I had a huge mind, and I knew about almost everything. So it started after geckos. It went from tegus. It went from black throat monitors, roughneck monitors, colubrids. I even get into anacondas.
Wow.
And the thing is, like, no one would have any anacondas anymore.
Anacondas, like from the movies?
Yep. Green anacondas, green and yellow anacondas.
That's amazing.
Freddie, how important is education at your store?
Education is everything to me. You know, I want to make sure that my guests, I call them my guests because I always see them again and again. Yep. I want to make sure that my guests find their dream animal, and I want to make sure that they know what they're getting themselves into. Yep. Nowadays, you go into these other pet stores, people just get an animal because, oh, it looks cool. Or, hey, my buddy has that. That's why I want to get it. Here, I want to make sure that you know what you're getting yourself into because I want that animal to stay with you.
Yep.
Right.
You know?
Kristen, you asked about education. Freddie and I were chatting before the show, and he does this for schools. So you want to talk about a little bit of the work you do in your community?
I do a lot of big events for schools. Some of our CCSD schools. So I work with a lot of Mater Academy, Coral Academy as well too. What I do, guys, is I show up to school. I bring a handful of animals, from about 10 to 15 different ones. I love to educate all the kids, and the best part I tell about the kids is that you have nothing to be afraid. Especially when they see me holding a scorpion or they see me holding a tarantula. I don't want any of you guys to be afraid. I know you told me you're afraid of tarantulas, so you got lucky I didn't bring one today.
I got so lucky. You guys don't understand. I've been dreading it this entire trip. And finally, Lady Luck has paid off. I'm hitting the slots tonight.
It's because we weren't ever introduced to tarantulas as a child, and if we had been exposed to that and learned about them early on, we probably wouldn't be afraid of them.
Mm-hmm. Speak for yourself there, Chris.
So now, believe this or not, just like I said, being afraid, right? My daughter is 2 years old now. She is not afraid of anything. She will hold my tarantula. She will hold my giant snakes with me. If I'm out there wrangling one of my lizards, she's right there right behind me trying to figure out what am I holding.
Right.
That's awesome.
My daughter's a perfect example of keeping your kids around the animals so they don't have to be afraid of the unknown.
Exactly.
And speaking of some of your animals, I want to save enough time for this. You brought some animals for us to see.
Actually, I didn't bring animal. I actually brought my son. Do you guys want to meet my son?
Yeah. Why not?
Let's do it.
Let's see here. He's going to come right out to you guys.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I thought I would introduce you to my son.
Who is
This is Pumbaa. He is the potbelly pig.
It's Pumbaa!
Yes, Pumbaa. We actually had like 7 different names for him, and we're like, I let my daughter decide, and my daughter was like Pumbaa, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
let's stick
okay.
with that
name?
So Pumbaa is a potbelly pig. Believe it or not, he's the only one that survived in his den.
Really?
Yes. So, the mother was very new. She didn't know what she was doing. 4 of them passed away. Yeah, he likes to come out. 4 of them passed away at birth, and then she accidentally rolled on the others. And he was the only one left. Pumbaa here is about a week old now.
Only a week? Can I hold it?
Yeah.
Oh
Just hold a little baby.
Oh my god!
He is very, very cute. He is very curious.
He's got something to say. He's going for the microphone.
Actually, do you want to feed him?
I would love
I
to.
think Chris does. Look, like I said, this is his
This
bottle.
is so much better than a traditional bottle. Yes,
So-
right?
Like that. Pick it up higher.
Okay, higher.
Like that, and he's latched on.
Oh my
I'm in heaven
gosh!
right now.
So potbelly pigs, they live 20 years.
Wow.
And in the state of Nevada and Las Vegas, you can only have 2. So I have Pumbaa right now. I'm not getting another one.
Yeah. Now, how big does a potbelly pig actually get? At full
Potbelly pigs
growth?
can get around 50 pounds. Sometimes, on rare occasion, if they're overfed, they can even get 100 pounds.
Okay. Okay. So you need to be thinking about they're tiny
Yes.
now,
Yes,
but you need to be thinking about when they're.
They
full
call
grown.
them pot belly pigs, not tiny belly pigs.
Do you know, I've seen the miniature ones, they're like 30 pounds, and I'm like, what is it? They're like, it's a potbelly pig. I'm like, so how are you explaining when it's big? And when
Yeah,
it's small?
right, yeah.
It's crazy the way these animals are nowadays.
That's absolutely
Are you
amazing.
jealous?
Yeah, give me the pig.
I think you're in love.
Oh, so sweet. 1 week old.
Come here, bud. Oh
I
my god!
just picked him up last Sunday. And literally, it was a phone call away. It was like, hey, hey, Freddy, you want a pig? I'm like, yeah.
So
Oh,
you're sort of
He's
a
got
rescue
little
as well
person
then.
eyes.
Sorry, like
Yes.
okay.
So, good thing you said rescue. You know, I get a lot of people who will come in and be like, hey, I can no longer take this animal. Can you please take care of it? Yeah, come bring it in. I never say no. I've had people tell me they find bearded dragons in the park, in the parking lot, or even in the desert. And the main thing I think to myself is, like, what was that owner thinking? Why would you leave this beautiful animal out there like that? You know, it can't survive in the heat. And thank God for those people who bring me those animals, you know?
Yes.
I'm actually helping them out and trying to give them a second
Do you
chance.
rehome them typically,
I do.
or yes?
I do.
That's wonderful.
So before I rehome the animals that come into me, I usually give them about like 3-week quarantine where I make sure they're good. They have no parasites.
Right.
They're not skinny and
Right.
they're not dehydrated.
Okay.
After the 3 weeks is over, they go right back on the sales floor and I make
Right.
sure I rehome them to the perfect family.
Great.
I
Okay.
apologize. I completely tuned out of that part of the interview. I'm over here in pig world. I'm gonna give Pumbaa here.
Well, what do we have? What do we have next, Freddie? I'm almost afraid to ask.
Alrighty. So you guys met Pumbaa, right?
We met Pumbaa.
All right. So
wanna switch these?
Are you guys? Are you a fan of snakes at all?
I'm good with snakes.
I wouldn't say I'm a fan, but I'm not anti.
I'm not anti-snake.
So here is a rare species you don't see often. This in my hand is a green anaconda.
What?
Yes,
Green wet.
green anaconda. The reason why she's wet is because these animals spend 90% of their time in the water. Wow. So anacondas hold the record for being the heaviest snake in the world. Not the longest. The only one that beats them are the reticulated pythons. They can get around 25 feet to almost 30 feet long. I believe just 3 months ago, an old lady got swallowed by one in Thailand.
Are you kidding me?
You brought one into the suite?
I did.
I'm just kidding.
So green anaconda's right here. Believe it or not, though, how big do you think it's gonna get?
You're right. That's totally.
6.5 feet.
It sounds.
6.5 feet.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong. These guys will actually max out around 15 feet, maybe even 20 feet. They will not hit their world record in the wild because they're not eating capybaras.
Right. So
Yeah.
how old is this guy here?
So this female right here is about 2.5 feet long, maybe 3 now. I've had her since January. Oh, these girls, they can live around maybe 20 years, even past that. Even past that, I was sold. But they're honestly one of my favorite snakes. They have so much color in them, and believe it or not, you can actually hybridize. I think I said
Really?
I think I said it right.
Hybridize.
We invent words on the show all the time.
Right.
You want to invent word?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So you can actually hybridize a snake with a boa, and it's called a boa conda. Yes. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing to fear about them, you know. I tell people you always got to hold these animals. If you're nice and calm, if you're nice and calm, the animal's gonna be nice and calm with you.
noodle.
If you're finicky and you're like, I'm nervous and stuff, it's okay. Now, what is she eating right now? She's eating tilapia, she's eating catfish, and occasionally she's eating chicken feet. No rats. She will not touch you.
Yes, because they live in the water.
I kind of want to hold her.
Yeah, it's okay. Just like this.
Oh, that's.
Just like that. And then the goal is,
do I need to do?
not to tighten on her.
Okay.
Let her do a thing. You want to act like you're the tree branch.
Okay.
So if this hand drop like you get right under her.
Like,
Right under her hair.
oh, okay, gotcha.
There you go.
So you kind of want to just support her weight.
Okay. Am I doing okay?
You're doing a great job.
You look like
Okay.
a snake master. You're doing good.
Snake Master. Snake Master Kristen, everybody. Snake Master Kristen.
What's she doing?
What do I do now?
What do I do now?
What do I do now?
So you can pass him to Chris.
Okay.
So Chris, just get under her like that. There you go. Yeah, there you go.
I'll be more gentle this time.
It's okay.
She's just reacting.
It's
I'm
called a
not-
love
yeah.
bite. It'll be fun.
She can't hurt me. She could try.
That was cool.
I'm entering my Slytherin era.
Oh my God, Chris. So again, that's a green anaconda.
Okay, green
One of my
anaconda.
favorites.
Wow.
Obviously not a
Beautiful.
poisonous snake.
No.
Yeah.
These guys are constrictors, meaning that
Okay.
when they grab their prey, they squeeze until you let out every last breath.
Okay. What's next? What's next?
Let's see what's next. Yeah.
He's getting it out of the box.
So, yes. What's the word spicy? I think they said. Yeah. A little bit spicy. So this little prehistoric dude I'm holding is called a Mexican spiny-tailed iguana.
Mexican spiny-tailed iguana. Okay.
So these guys are native to Mexico. You can even find them in Cancun. They're really, really beautiful. This is actually a little subadult male. Believe it or not, he has another 2 feet left to grow.
Whoa.
Yes.
How old is he?
This right here, yeah, he's ready for me.
Yeah.
So believe it or not, this guy's actually about 9 months old.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep. So around this age right here, people think that the iguanas, especially these ones right here, will eat nothing but greens, right? This guy will actually prey on small mammals, small lizards as well too. 80% greens, but they are predators as well too.
It's not big because I'm a small mammal.
But besides that, though, and the reason why they call him Mexican spiny tail, if you look at that beautiful prehistoric tail, you can touch a tail.
That's a dragon tail.
You know what's that?
Yeah, I do. Oh wow, yeah. Jeez. So did they use? Is that for defense mostly?
Yes. So sometimes they will drop their tail. You notice this guy did drop his tail.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it looks
somewhat
different
in the
here.
past.
Yep.
So it is regrown, but half of the time, these guys will dig massive burrows, and if you try to reach down it, it'll actually use its tail as a leverage. It'll hit you with its tail, or if it doesn't work, it'll turn around and bite you.
That's awesome.
So why is his mouth open like
He's
that?
very defensive right now. He's mad that I had him inside a box.
Okay, okay.
And he can't see where he's at, and he's
Okay.
a little bit puffy right now.
Okay.
Yeah. He
Okay.
actually just hates being on live
Yeah,
TV.
he does.
Yeah. Well, he is beautiful though.
Yes, they're
gorgeous.
very,
the stripes.
very, very
now, who is this a great pet for? Like, what is the ideal home environment?
This animal right here is for experienced pet owners. You know, if you've done your research, you've handled iguanas before, then you know what you're getting yourself into. I wouldn't recommend this animal. Yes, I would not recommend
He doesn't look
this.
like a starter spell.
I would
Yeah,
not
he
recommend
doesn't have
it
that
for a
look.
star pet at all. Yeah, no. Now, if you're telling me you're getting a baby, then I'd say, yeah, I'd recommend a baby as a starter pet because they're very simple and they're really easy to take care of. But getting a subadult or getting an adult in general, don't do it, guys. You know, definitely, this is not an animal play with. You will get bit. You know.
Gotcha.
All
You
right.
guys ready to meet
All
the
right.
next animal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh boy.
Okay,
What are we
I
graduating
know who this one is. So, are you a big fan of dogs or not?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, have you ever heard of a tegu before?
No.
So tegus are basically the dog world of the lizard.
Okay. Tegu.
Yes, they're
How do you spell
very-
that?
T-E-G-U.
Tegu. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. So they're really big and they're super, super lazy.
Just like me.
So this guy right here.
Hey, oh, look at him.
Yes. So this guy, his name is Juggernaut.
Juggernaut?
I've had him for about 5 years now.
He's beautiful.
Wow.
Are omnivores. They're native to. They're actually native to. Oh my God. They're native to Colombia. They're native to Argentina. I had a brain fart right there. I'm so sorry. So people, when they see him, oh my God, is this a Komodo dragon? No, these guys are in a class all their own. They're not tegus and they're not lizards at all. They're not even monitors. They're in a class all by themselves. But this guy right here will eat fruits. He won't touch vegetables, but you can give him blueberries, raspberries, grapes. He'll even eat strawberries. And then for protein, you can give him eggs. I give him as well. I give him trout. I give him chicken legs. I give him chicken feet, chicken gizzards. Anything that looks good to him, he'll try to chase it.
There we go.
Besides that, though, they're really
And what kind of environment, like housing or, would he
For an
need?
animal like this, I definitely recommend an enclosure outside.
Okay.
Definitely make us something that's going to be around like 6 feet, 4 feet wide.
Right.
It'll still be perfect outside.
Right.
Definitely just bring him in the winter.
Right.
That's a beautiful
Besides that,
animal.
though, they're really
Now,
cool.
is a tegu as a pet? Would you have one, or is it better to have two? Or how does,
If it's your first time getting a tegu, get one.
Yeah.
One's always gonna bond with the first person they see.
Okay.
If you get two, they're not gonna want nothing to do with you. They're gonna want to do
together.
yes.
Okay.
They're gonna want to be with each other
Gotcha.
and not with the owner.
Gotcha.
But
That makes
I've had
sense.
people break that as well too. The best way I tell people to bond with these animals, get something that smells like you really, really bad, like a dirty sock or an underwear. Leave it inside your enclosure with them for about 5 days. I guarantee it'll love you the 7th day.
That's amazing.
Yes.
All right, so Freddy, we are coming up on time. If people want to learn more about reptiles, learn more about your store, if they're in the Vegas area and want to give you a visit, where can they come find you?
They can find me at 1729 East Charleston Boulevard. I'm only 5 minutes away from Fremont, guys. One of the best stores in Vegas.
Awesome, man. This was such a treat. I mean, this is
so
such a cool
fun.
experience.
Thank you for educating us. I have to say, I'm pretty proud of us. Like,
You have a snake?
I was a little nervous,
I
but
should have brought Tarantula.
yeah.
Should have brought.
Well, thanks again, Freddy. For
Thank you,
joining us.
Freddie.
Product of the week.
All right, it's time for our product of the week. Our product of the week.
The product of the week.
Boom!
Wow. I tell you what, it was really difficult to pick the product today
Yeah, it's
because
tough.
oh my gosh, I saw so many amazing products
Yeah.
on the show floor. But I did pick one. And this is we have some video to roll?
Yeah, let's
Okay.
roll some B-roll.
Yeah, let's roll some B-roll. Let's get Chris off the camera here, and there we go. Okay, so this is an indestructible dog toy for those super chewers. It's the brand is called Bionic, and the guy that developed this has worked on it for 20 years. And there's two things that make it really unique. I don't know if you noticed that, but he just put it in a blender, and there's not a single mark on it. And now he's gonna put it in this little vise and try to stab it. Look at that. And it doesn't even make a mark. And
That device has OSHA written all over it.
totally. What makes this thing indestructible is the materials. And these materials are used in heart valves and in submarine seals. So like these are no-fail materials. And look at this one here. They stretched it, and I think they put it up to 300 pounds of pressure.
It's up to like 112 pounds there.
Yeah. So anyway, they come in some really cool shapes. They've got like a bone shape. They've got a frisbee disc shape. So if you have a dog that is a really aggressive chewer and you have trouble like going through lots of chew toys, I definitely suggest that you check out Bionic.
That's absolutely awesome. Man, that is crazy. You ever see that Robin Williams film, Flubber?
The film?
The film, Flubber.
I know what Flubber is.
You've never seen Flubber with Robin Williams?
No.
We're gonna have a movie night.
Okay.
The joke obviously didn't land. We'll move on. My product of the week. Play the tape, Ron. I got some B-roll up there. So, as you know, animals shed. And when they shed, their hair gets everywhere. And so I own a beautiful Dyson vacuum with the pet attachments, use it to clean the couch and everything like that. And I own one of these. I got one of these right here. It's from Uproot Clean. Brand new, winner of Global Pet Expo and Superzoo's Best in Show Awards. So I've been using the vacuum to clean my couch this whole time because, as we joke all the time, I'm horribly allergic to my cat. I have to do so many different things to make sure that I'm just like able to breathe in my own home. I vacuumed the couch, then took this to it, and it's simple. You just sort of scrape it across the couch. These are nice clean couches, so nothing's going to come up. Still found like an entire cat's worth of hair. After the Dyson. So they got all sorts of shapes. This is like obviously the most like introductory small. It's like the size of a comb, low price point. Then they've got some with grips. You can see in the video, this guy's got a beautiful handheld one. They have one that's like Swiffer size if you've got like a very low rug that you just struggle to vacuum up. And I just think it's great because animal hair is annoying. Like, it's honestly, for me, the worst part of owning my pet.
Right.
Is
well,
all
especially with your allergies.
Exactly. So if you're like me and you're an animal lover, but you're super allergic to your pet, great little tool. Great little tool right here. Check them out. I believe it's just Upright Clean, Uproot. It's on the back of the website. At Uproot Clean and uprootclean.com. Be sure
That's
to
a good
check
one.
it out.
That's a good one.
And you know what that means, Kristen?
It's time for your favorite segment.
It's time for my favorite segment. We're going to be answering some questions from our audience. And now normally what we have you guys do is head on over to the website, petsadlife.org/podcast. Scroll on to the bottom and submit questions. But we're live in Las Vegas. You could hear the rumblings of an anxious crowd waiting on bated breath to ask their questions. So we're actually going to get two of our questions directly from our audience today.
Q&As.
All right, Chloe.
Hi, Chloe DeVita. Black Clouds Live.
What's your question for the two pals?
Question for both of you. So my question for both of you is, when you do this kind of hosting, you learn things, right? You are always absorbing new information. So what is the best factoid you learned today?
Just today?
Yep, just today and what
Just
you've been
today.
doing. Focus it in today. What's the best factoid?
I learned a factoid about snakes. They are either constrictors or they're venomous. So the constrictors constrict and squeeze their prey to kill them, and then the venomous snakes bite them. Is that the kind of question? Okay.
Yeah, that's a factoid.
Okay.
That's a great factoid. It's so tough for me to come up with a factoid because the honest truth is I spend most of my day blathering away like a drone in the APPA booth. Don't tell my boss. He's actually like right there. I'm glad he didn't hear that. Freddy brought in a lot of really cool facts. That fact that the anaconda lives 90% of its life in the water is super cool. That the potbelly pigs could get up to 100 pounds is super cool. But I think like coming to one of these shows, one of the factoids that just impresses me every single time is the breadth of the pet industry. And it's so easy to boil it down to just like retailers and manufacturers, but there's so many people in between and above the supply chain and below it all the way down to the consumer that makes this thing tick. And it really takes coming to an event like Superzoo or Global Pet Expo to really hammer that home and make you realize that everybody has a place in this industry. It doesn't matter who you are, if you're a pet owner or you've got a retail store or you've just invented a brand new product, there's a spot for you here. And I think that continues to fascinate me every single day.
Great point.
Yes, excellent. Well, you both just put your spot on the map.
There we go. Thank you.
All right, we have another question. Hi, Patrick.
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you? Are you enjoying the show?
I'm enjoying the show a lot.
Okay, what's your question?
So my question for you all, so I want you to answer first. What is Chris's most embarrassing moment when y'all have been doing an episode? And then Chris, I want you to answer what Kristen.
This is unfair because it's so much easier for her to answer this question. It's so much easier.
You're unembarrassable.
Kristen is an avid professional. She is consistently prepared and able to tackle anything. There was one time though, I forget which guest it was, and normally like we really weren't intimidated by doing this live show because we truly do the podcast in usually one take and very rarely have to go, can I get that again and can I get that again? But there's one guest where you stumbled over their name like 3 times in a row. Yes. And my mouth was agape because I'm like, she's just like me. she isn't Superwoman. She's just like me. And so I don't remember which guest it was, but we had to do it a few times before we landed on the right pronunciation.
Gosh, this is a tough question. There's a lot. I'm really having trouble coming up with one. I thought it was really funny the one time that I realized a lot of our guests are people that I know already. You know, like I've either worked with them in the past. I've been in the industry for 30 years. You haven't even been on the earth for, well, maybe about 30 years.
Yeah, we'll say I haven't. For those listening at home, we'll say I haven't.
It was kind of funny when Chris just made this comment during one of the shows that we're just interviewing all your friends. And it was kind of funny because it was kind of true. Because we had just done like 5 of my friends in a row. So I can't think of a time that you were truly embarrassed.
Well, no, it's impossible to embarrass me. I don't feel shame. I don't. But I've definitely goofed a few times. Yeah. There's some pretty bad jokes that don't get recorded because I make them like when the guest is first coming on or after recording. And stuff that just doesn't make it onto the airwaves that would probably sink my career if they ever saw the light of day. Ron actually has so much blackmail on me. He's got all this clipped up, and he told me that if I don't do 150 episodes, he's going to release the tapes. I'm here. I'm stuck here.
But I think he's doing an awesome job.
I think you're doing an awesome job, too.
I think y'all are both doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
And this was fun. This was a lot of fun.
This was great. Yeah, and I think, folks, that brings us to the end of our first ever live show. I hope one day we get to do this again, Kristen. Yeah, maybe at Global. Well, definitely at Global. Definitely at Global, but maybe somewhere in between.
Okay.
And so everybody listening at home, our show comes out every single Tuesday. It's the Pet Side Life podcast, available wherever you get your podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave comments, leave reviews.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews only. I don't want to see a single 4-star review. Why are you taking a star off? Why are you doing that to me? I'm a 5-star man. And this is a 5-star show. Thank you so much for joining us each and every week. We are truly blessed to be able to do this show for you all. Thank you to this wonderful crowd for joining us today. We'll see you all next week, same time, same place.
Not same place.
Pets add life.